What do the D-Day and a quiet Buckinghamshire estate have in common?
What was the significance of the Enigma Code?
Who was Alan Turing and why was he persecuted and chemically castrated?
What was the secret operation called Ultra?
And how all these questions tie together?
In this video, we'll uncover the secrets behind them all.
Chapter 1 Enigma in the Shadows. The year is 1939. Germany has invaded Poland. After a successful blitzkrieg maneuver, Great Britain and France declared war on Germany, and that's where our story begins.
By the start of the Second World War, Germany had already been using what was then believed to be an unbreakable code system, the Enigma.
Originally invented in the 1920s for professional and business use, the Enigma machine was adapted by the German Navy, the Kriegsmarine, in 1926 with a modified version. By 1935, the entire German military, Army, Navy and the Air Force had fully integrated the machine into their communications.
Just 2 days after the invasion of Poland, it was already an open secret to the British that such a machine existed. But that begs the question, what comes next?
Chapter 2 Break the Code, Win the War. Thanks to earlier breakthroughs by Polish cryptanalysts, the British began the war with a crucial edge in understanding the Enigma system.
By 1939, they launched a secret code-breaking operation, later codenamed Ultra. The goal was simple: break the code, win the war. This is where Bletchley Park came into the picture.
An informal nickname of Station X was often used to refer to Bletchley Park itself. The official codename Ultra reflected the program's classification as ultra secret. The operation reached its peak in 1944 and 1945. During this time, over 10,000 people, including mathematicians, linguists and cryptanalysts, worked tirelessly at Bletchley Park. Most famously among them was Alan Turing, but more on him later in the next chapter.
The Allies knew one truth: if they could crack the code, they could turn the tide of war. And so, they got to work in total secrecy. What they needed was a mind that could outthink the unbreakable.
Chapter 3 Who was Alan Turing? Alan Turing was a British mathematician, logician and pioneer of computer science. But most famously, he was the genius who cracked the German Enigma code during World War II. Turing designed an electromechanical machine called the Bombi, which helped decode messages encrypted by the German Enigma machine. These messages were used by the Nazi military to coordinate attacks, and they were believed to be unbreakable.
Thanks to Turing and his team, the Allies were able to read top-secret German communications, giving them a massive advantage. Historians estimate that his work shortened the war by 2 to 4 years and saved millions of lives. Despite his heroic contributions, Turing was treated shamefully by his own country. In 1952, he was persecuted for being gay, which was illegal in the UK at the time. He chose chemical castration over prison.
2 years later, in 1954, Turing died from cyanide poisoning. It was officially ruled a suicide, though some debate remains about the circumstances. Never in a field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Winston Churchill. Alan Turing is now widely recognized as the father of modern computing. In 2009, the UK government formally apologized. In 2013, he was posthumously pardoned, and in 2021, he was featured on the £50 banknote in the UK.
On behalf of the British government and all of those who live freely, thanks to Alan's work, I am very proud to say, we're sorry. You deserve so much better. UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown, 2009 public apology to Alan Turing. But would breaking the Enigma be enough to win the war? The answer would come on the beaches of Normandy.
Chapter 4 D-Day and Deception. By 1944, the British and their allies were reading up to 90,000 German messages per month. This wasn't just about code breaking, it was about shaping the battlefield before a single soldier landed. Thanks to the ultra intelligence from Bletchley, the Allies learned where German troops and tanks were positioned across France. They confirmed that Hitler believed the main invasion would come at Calais, not Normandy. This allowed the Allies to launch Operation Fortitude, a massive deception campaign using fake tanks, dummy radio signals, and even a body planted with false invasion plans, all to keep the Germans guessing.
Because of this, on D-Day, the Germans were caught completely off guard. Their strongest divisions were in the wrong place. The success of the Normandy landings and possibly the entire liberation of Europe was made possible in the large part by the silent work of the Codebreakers. The Germans believed Enigma was unbreakable. They were wrong, and that mistake cost them the war, attributed to military historians analyzing ultra-intelligence.
Chapter 5 about Bletchley Park. While Bletchley Park is best known for its secret wartime operations, its historical significance runs much deeper than its military strategy. Nestled in the quiet countryside of Buckinghamshire, this Victorian mansion was once the centerpiece of a sprawling estate built in the 19th century. The architecture is an eclectic mix of Gothic, Tudor and Dutch Baroque styles, a reflection of the era's romantic fascination with grandeur, mystery and progress.
Before the war, Bletchley Park was home to wealthy financiers like Sir Herbert Lyon and stood as a symbol of the rising influence of Britain's new industrial elite. It wasn't just a house, it was a cultural statement, blending innovation with tradition, much like the Codebreakers would do decades later. Today, the site stands as a living museum, preserving not only the memory of wartime heroics but also the story of British heritage, architecture, and the quiet beauty of a bygone era.
The carefully restored mansion, gardens, and outbuildings now tell stories of both the people who cracked the codes and the people who simply called it home. Before it shaped the fate of nations, Bletchley Park was simply a home, filled with elegance, mystery, and a quiet charm. And in many ways, it still is.